One massive reset. This is the total crypto market cap. One massive reset. That is what the last half a year has been. Not to mention everything that happened before that in the last bear market that we just survived. One massive reset. That is where we are. We're going to dive into some crypto news, big things happening really across the world. I'm going to look at the total crypto market cap charts. I'm going to do a zoomed in Bitcoin analysis chart. I think this is a really good short-term roadmap for crypto that we've been tracking. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. We're going to look at different altcoins as well that I just want to talk about. I want to have a little bit of a laid back, just crypto conversation. This is my second live stream in the last day or so, because if we zoom out on the crypto charts, I think something special is getting ready to happen, and I want to be here for it. If you're here for it, if you're here with me, please smash the like for me. I'm going to try not to shill the likes throughout the live stream. So right at the beginning, your support does mean a lot to me as I try and, please those YouTube algorithms. Let's jump into the video though. Before we talk about the charts, Bitcoin analysis, even some altcoins I really want to talk about. I want to go over some things. So let's kind of start here. This is probably one of the biggest headlines today. SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce says the SEC should have admitted long ago that crypto tokens are not securities. So let's just take a quick listen.
That yes, we admit that now actually the token itself is not a security. That's something that we should have admitted long ago and then started wrestling with the difficulty.
So this is a big headline for obvious reasons. It's what we all want to hear. It's nice on the short term. It's short-term nice news. But the reason why it's so compelling to me is because especially on this YouTube channel, I've been talking about this momentum shift. That is to say, SEC going to begin losing many battles, which they have been. There's a momentum shift in terms of narrative. There's a momentum shift in terms of crypto's not so much the underdog anymore. And the tide is very much changing very fast. And when we see things like this happening, it's a nice short-term headline. It's a good thing to hear. But this is a macro development. I'm talking about when we look at the macro charts, when we take into consideration, at least for me, like I'm taking into consideration my soft target of like $4 to $5 trillion, swing high in this bull market, or the fund target of 12 to 13 trillion in this bull market. It's in play. When I take these things into play or into consideration, it is very much because of momentum shifts stemming from these short-term news events in crypto. These are huge. So here's another one. 42 Congress members wrote to SEC Chair Gensler, urging him to allow banks to custody. The momentum is shifting so fast. The SEC is losing, and I want to remain humble in the face of that. I don't want to sit here and gloat, talk trash on Gary. It's so easy to do that. This a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. But what I will say is this: it's happening. And because the law is on the side of crypto, SEC is losing. And for crypto holders, it's really a good thing. Here's another big news event today. China announces multiple rate cuts and lower banks' reserve ratio requirements. The Chinese cut the RRR, adding $113 billion of liquidity support to the equity market, potentially setting up a stock stabilization fund, and will lower borrowing costs on as much as $5.3 trillion in mortgages and easing rules for second home purchases. The bottom is in for global central bank liquidity for the cycle. Sit back and watch the other CBs fall into line. China news coming into play. Extremely bullish for risk on assets like crypto. Are you kidding me? This is incredibly bullish. And then for the people in the back that haven't seen me cover this data, I want to echo it one more time. Of the 14 rate cycles since 1929, 12 of them saw positive S&P 500 returns for the 12-month period following the first rate cut. You go to a total crypto market cap chart, and I always like to do this based on that data. A year later, historically, most of the time, a year later, S&P was up after a first rate cut. That could be in an environment where on this weekly chart, maybe we fall more. I don't know, right? We're going to talk about bullish in this video, but maybe we fall more. But where is everything 12 months later? Where is everything now that we have this new rate cycle, rate cuts happened? Where is everything in a year from now? I think we're looking very, very good. So that's that data point. I'm throwing these things into play now that we have this China news. And then we have this other data point looking at recession data back to 1957, because I know there's people that are thinking, you know what, this recession, on average, S&P 500 bottoms 3 months after a recession begins, but 12 months before the recession ends. Do you remember that piece of data that I've talked about so much on the channel? Historically, and I'm pretty sure this is what it was, historically, the year before the recession is usually the worst for markets because the markets are not the economy. So these things really lining up very nicely as we go into October, because we look at October historically looking very good for crypto. This is Bitcoin historically, especially the year of halvings. If you see here, 2020, October, November, December looking really nice. Halving of 2016, October, November, December looking really nice. No guarantee, everybody, but October, November, December are lined up pretty good. Things are looking pretty swell, if you ask me. So here's this other headline, and then we're going to look at charts, altcoin charts, all that good stuff. Absolutely going to cover dog in this video. Going to cover Cardano, going to cover dog. I want to talk about Sui, which so far I've missed the boat on. Want to talk about it. Bitwise CIO says most powerful people in finance own crypto. This is craziness. Do you realize, put aside the SEC, put aside China, put aside macroeconomic, all of the things that we're talking about, don't forget the biggest money in the world is pouring into crypto right now. Last Friday, I had the great pleasure of delivering a keynote address to the Barron's Advisor 100 Summit, gathering of the top financial advisors in the U.S. This is Matt over at, where's Matt from here? He's the Chief Investment Officer at Bitwise. Whenever I give talks, I like to first gauge the room to know if my listeners are crypto experts or crypto newbies, supporters or skeptics. So look at what he says here. He usually asks a question by a show of hands, how many people in the room own Bitcoin or another crypto asset? When I asked a question to the same crowd 2 years ago, he's saying maybe 10 or 20% said they do. Nearly every hand in the room this year went up. So look at that shift, 10 to 20% to at least 70% of the advisors in the room raised their hands. Huge money pouring into crypto right now. And it's very fun to see, everybody. And I just want to say, you know, as we're talking about all of these things, this is macro mindset. For me, what I'm talking about, this is absolutely from a macro standpoint. It's so volatile on the zoomed in. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you're maybe new to crypto, please, as I'm sitting here or standing here and I'm bullish on crypto, just know I say that within a reality and within context that we could just dip while I'm on the live stream, 10%, 20%, like we could start falling. I'm talking from a macro bullish perspective right now, and things, as we start digging into these charts, things are lining up very well as we look at all of these headlines. One thing I do want to mention, and this is a massive shout out to today's sponsor. I want to give a shout out to World Mobile. I don't know if you're familiar with World Mobile. They're on Cardano. Cardano's still going to be available, or World Mobile, WMTX, their portal is opening, still going to be available to people on Cardano, but they are entering this expansion phase where World Mobile is going to, their goal is to connect down to connected, but they're getting a ton of exposure, a ton of new liquidity, a ton of new exposure to base ecosystem and others as they go multi-chain. And they just launched their announcement date, September 30th. And I just want to give a shout out to them, today's sponsor of the video. So please go follow them on X, keep track of them. In terms of companies and projects I've been covering over the years, World Mobile, Mickey over there at World Mobile, one of the most phenomenal jobs they're actually doing something, and their network is expanding and growing. It's actually very fun to watch. So let's do this. Let's start on total crypto market cap chart, and then I want to do some shorter term Bitcoin analysis. Bitcoin's at a very critical area, and then I want to look at some altcoins. Here's the thing. We're talking about a parabolic bull run, but I want to just mention, like, this isn't just hopium. I'm not tracking this as somebody that's just like opening up the chart and hoping one day we just see some gains. The way that I'm tracking this is coming from this perspective where we've been tracking it for like 3 years from the last bull market high. And I'm coming from this perspective where I know historically it takes 3 years to get like 1 year of gains. That's where we're coming from. The reason I'm very excited and the reason why I'm starting to do more live streams and kind of cover content more is because that 3 years has happened. And now as we approach this first purple line of these 2 purple lines, things are getting crazy. So I wanted to, when it comes to altcoin, total crypto market cap chart and altcoin obviously are kind of fused within this chart. The one thing I really just wanted to mention on here is the massive reset. And if you look at what's happening right now, we have the total crypto market cap chart. And this is what, I think this is what I used in the thumbnail, getting ready to cross above on the weekly, the 20-week moving average. So this is such a big deal to me because that's the bull environment. That's the bull trigger for any crypto. And that applies very much to the total crypto market cap chart. It's also the bear trigger. Okay. So that it's the bear trigger, lower lows, lower highs. I talk about it all the time. I talked about it in video today, but I have these 2 yellow arrows right here because the 20-week moving average was in a very similar fashion broken before the next leg up, the last swing high of the bull market back here in, what was this? This was August 2021. Now, if we look at that, we're kind of like, okay, well, it didn't last very long and then it was bear market. So are we kind of in for just one more swing high and then bear market? This is what excites me on the chart. This is what excites me on the chart. Notice where we are post Bitcoin having. The data is on our side here. If you're a bull, the data is on your side. Again, no guarantees, but the data is on our side. From Bitcoin halving, we are like 150 days or so post Bitcoin halving. When total crypto market cap charts and crypto in general got this last leg up to get that all-time high, we were breaking that 20-week moving average. That move was happening 430 or so days after the Bitcoin halving. We are at a completely different part of the cycle. And notice the length of time that we just reset on this chart. And notice, if I open up the momentum oscillators, look at this. Look at the MACD. So here's the MACD consolidating right before that last swing high, the all-time high last cycle. Here's the MACD consolidating. Look how much more consolidated the MACD is right here. We're getting kind of some upper momentum on the histogram, but this MACD line, if we open this up, the MACD line actually fell below 0 on the histogram area. So we've consolidated, we've reset in a fashion that is way more aggressive than whatever this little consolidation was last cycle. Want to mention that. And the other thing I want to mention is on the quicker moving momentum oscillator, since Bitcoin halving, this yellow line, look how oversold the markets have been. And this consolidation back here, yes, it was oversold, but guess what? It wasn't oversold right after the Bitcoin halving. That is massive. So right now, altcoin markets, crypto markets, Bitcoin, everything is so primed. And let's include for a moment, probably maybe the most important factor. This was, before it all happened. I'm talking about so many different things. Macroeconomic pain. I'm talking about the worst of inflation, rising pain. I'm talking about, what else? FTX, Celsius. I'm talking about all the mess that happened is behind us, right? As all of this data is coming together. So I just want to mention that as well. So if you're out there, everybody, we're going to pivot to some altcoins. You can mention some altcoins. I'll glance over in the chats to see, what you're all looking at. But I definitely want to cover a few. And if you're in the chats, we got like 2,400 people. Let's go. And we're not even in the parabolic phase, everybody. We're not even there. I think we're going to hit 10,000 people on these live streams when things get fun. If you're in there, hit the like and let's cruise over. I want to talk about some altcoins. I'm going to do ADA just because I did a video earlier about something, and it's namely making a move. I don't know where ADA was when I did the video earlier, but it was around 36 cents or so. Making the move to the 20-week. Massive macro resistance. That's the bull market trigger for ADA. Last cycle, at this time, ADA was down, I think, 92% or so. It was right around here. Also contending with the 20-week. It was down 92%. Right now it's down 88%. Everybody's laughing at it. Everybody hates Cardano. It's the same old story. This was the trigger for ADA. breaking above the 20-week. It is there at macro resistance. On the short term, I don't know if it's going to break it. There's 5 days, 4 hours left of the current weekly candle. I don't know. Well, we're going to find out. I'm going to track it. I think Bitcoin has a lot to do with it. And if we look at the Bitcoin charts right now, Bitcoin is testing the 200-day moving average and probably making such a critical move that we've been tracking for days now. Look at these wicks and these previous daily candles at the 200-week moving average. Look at this candle right now. This is a very important move for the true breakout that we all want, and that is to say to the upper trend line and beyond. The target out of that falling wedge, if you've been watching my channel, or maybe others are talking about as well, we're talking about like $80,000 to $90,000 target. Why that's such a big deal is because if you go, and let me change this to a weekly, that's the beginning. Breaking to that area is the beginning of what's really happening on this very messy, I know this is a very messy Bitcoin chart, but look at this left shoulder, the head, this right shoulder formation. And the targets, there's a couple targets out of that area, but the fact that Bitcoin might be breaking this upper trend line on the smaller pattern, that would trigger the massive breakout of the inverse head and shoulders. And we're talking about, if you do a measured move, I think the target is like 250 some thousand or 200, I think even beyond 250,000. But if you do a measured price move, then I think we're looking at, I think it's like 130,000 or so. So that whole range though, I think 130 up to 250, is just a really nice range to anticipate some type of swing high for Bitcoin this cycle. I'm not one of those people that is anticipating $1 million this cycle, but that's a range that I'm anticipating. And the setup technically is just so there and it's so nice. So if we go back to the daily, it really all starts with these mini stepping stones, 200-day moving average with, I should say, this 20-day moving average about to cross. Let me zoom in here, about to cross the 50. Look at this. And we're talking, what do we have left of the candle? If I can get to a daily chart that tells me that daily chart's not telling me. So a few hours left of the daily candle. And this is probably going to be crossing above the 20, is going to be crossing above the 50 while Bitcoin, and this is if it happens in the next few hours, while Bitcoin closes above the 200. That is big. So really in the next few hours, I'm going to be watching to see how does this candle close for Bitcoin. I would say this is critical. If I could put something in the thumbnail in regards to Bitcoin price, it would be like next 24 hours important. I would actually say next few hours are important for Bitcoin. So want to take a quick glance just because I'm curious of the momentum oscillator on Bitcoin. Check this out. We're not even in this overbought area. There's so much upside for Bitcoin. And the reason I say that is because I'm not talking about like, hey, there's enough room for like a 5 to 10% move. I'm talking about, if we look at this, just to give you an idea, an example, here's Bitcoin kind of approaching where it is right now on the RSI. Look what was in store right here. Getting into overbought. Look what was in store. We're talking about almost 170% gains for Bitcoin. So that's what's in store potentially if we get this breakout. And again, I know people get annoyed. I say this so much. No guarantees. No guarantees. I have to say it because I think people, I know I'm enthusiastic with my content, but in my mind, I'm always like, dude, be careful, be careful, be careful. There's no guarantees. So here's ADA on the weekly, as we just discussed. That's what I'm watching on ADA. I have to talk about dog. This is a big play of mine. I'm not shilling this to you. It is what it is. Everybody, I cover Bitcoin mostly on this channel. I do altcoin news. I do crypto news, but just think about this. This is my angle. I cover Bitcoin. I'm tracking Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a roadmap. We're in this first cycle where Bitcoin has an entire ecosystem. Okay. It has a DeFi ecosystem. There's a ton of things launching on Bitcoin. A lot of people, I think, don't even realize that. One of those things is Dog. Dog is Bitcoin's meme coin. And we're talking, it's at like, what is it at right now? It's maybe around $270 million market cap. I think very strongly that Dog will contend with the Doges, the Shibas. And I'm telling you, this is right now before it's listed on Binance, before it's listed on all these tier one exchanges. It has not happened yet. So I'm just saying, probably my favorite chart going into the bull run. It is dog and it is set to go parabolic. I'm not trying to sell you on it. But it's absolutely a big part of my crypto journey, especially this cycle. So I'm absolutely going to cover it because I'm excited about it. That's it. Who knows what will happen? Maybe it will be the biggest failure of my portfolio, but maybe it'll be the biggest winner. I'm here to track it. And I have to say this. Somebody said dog supply is heavily controlled. That is absolutely the opposite of why I'm bullish on dog and most people are bullish on dog. This is the most well-distributed, fairly distributed, no influencers paid, no centralized exchanges paid. This is the most fairly evenly distributed coin. And when it comes to meme coins, it's a game changer in that regard. So I just want to say that is absolutely false in terms of it's highly controlled. It is so distributed, it's ridiculous. So that's dog. I'm extremely bullish. Let's talk about so far, one of my biggest misses. I've been waiting on a big SUI dip to buy, and it just isn't happening. I know that, I talk mostly about Bitcoin. I cover Ethereum charts. I talk about AVAX. I talk about the blue chips a lot. I talk about Cardano, obviously. Cardano is a huge hold of mine. So I know that people are out there like, what? Why is he talking about this? I'm here in these bull cycles, just like most of you, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong, but like I'm here for gains. I'm here to try and make really good plays. SUI, I'm looking and I'm really watching the narrative out there. I think a lot of people miss Solana. Solana came out of nowhere, just tore it up. And then SUI looks like it's going to do something very similar to Solana moving forward in this parabolic bull run. And I'm bringing it to the radar and I'm waiting to see what happens. We're going to look at a chart in a second, but I want to show you this quick clip. I just was on YouTube. I came across this video, well presented video, let me just say, and I just wanted to share it with you and just talk about it.
SUI is aggressively stealing Solana's market cap. And I generally prefer, I'm wearing blue for a reason, I generally prefer SUI's ecosystem. I think it's a lot better, man. I just think it's way more scalable. It's actually doing what it says in the tin.
So he's talking about SUI stealing market cap from Solana. And I'm on X. I don't know about you. I'm on X, YouTube. I'm pretty sure that's actually what's happening at this phase, at this season. And it looks like it's about to happen. And he was also bringing up this chart. And he just, you can go to marketcapof.com and you can just like mess around. Like, hey, if SUI gets to market cap of Solana, how many, what's the multiplier on that, right? So right here is a 15x for SUI to get to Solana market cap. So for me, when I'm looking, and it's very simple, look at Solana right now and look at SUI, look at the narratives and just say, what's more likely to do a 15x right now? Well, if you think about it, Solana is a top market cap crypto. It put in all those gains. It is way more likely for something like SUI to do a 15x, if not more. That's to say Solana keeps going. Solana does whatever, 5 to 10x from here. And we see something like SUI put in and by the way, I want to mention something. What I'm saying is SUI can be an outperformer. You put something like ADA. I just want to show you something. You put something like ADA, because if you start looking at blue chips in this kind of light, if it'll come up, tell me, Cardano's on here, is it not? Look, even market cap OF hates Cardano. Look, it's not even working. I give up. But if you're looking at a blue chip crypto and you're trying to see similar gains, you're not going to get it. Something like SUI, I think, is still in play for that. And if you look at the chart, I've charted this personally. I've just been waiting for this dip back to this area, and it actually just keeps going higher. So I don't know if it's going to, come into play, but it's something I have my eye on just to diversify a little bit. That's my thing, everybody. I want to diversify as we kind of continue into this phase of the bull market. So whether that's with things like dog, right? Or things like SUI, whatever it is, I'm trying to find the best narratives and plays that really help me diversify. And that's that. That's what I'm watching on some of those altcoin charts. I've been trying to glance over at the charts a little bit. I haven't seen too many in terms of, I see this all the time. And first, let me just say, I 100% agree with you. I agree with anybody that's saying too many VCs. But let me just say something. That means nothing. Let me just go to a total crypto market cap chart just to give a sense. Here we are. Here's altcoin season historically, right here. This is how close we are to altcoin season. Okay? Historically. So we're looking at around, a couple months. We're going to get altcoin season. If history repeated perfectly, altcoin season, this, total crypto market cap going up, Bitcoin going up, but altcoins really just dominating. That would start in a couple of months. And I know that there's this thought in terms of things like SUI, like, hey, too many VCs, paid shillers. But let me just say something. That means nothing until the top of a bull market. During the bull market, you better believe they're pumping their bags as much as possible. They just are, right? So, and this is where it becomes so important for me as I'm thinking about these things and I'm in a bull market to really plan. And for me, it's very important to start planning even now. Exit strategy, take profit strategy in a bull market. Because yes, I very much agree. A VC-driven type of chain at the top of a bull market, getting ready to go into bear market is one of the worst possible things to hold. But at the end of the day, cryptos in a bull market, they're going to pump even the VC chains, if not more, the VC chains. So the VC chains, I get what the turnoff is, but they might even be the more powerful play because they're so narrative driven, because those VCs and the big holders that hold so much of the distribution, they want it to pump. You better believe, I think they're gonna do whatever they need to do to make it pump. Unfortunately, I think these markets are so manipulated, and us small guys are out here just trying to manage these cycles and the way they work, and we have to plan. We have to anticipate all of these things. So we got this comment. Oh man, where'd it go? It's such a good one. When YouTubers go live, a top is coming in. Watch out. Yo, you're new here. You're new. If you're a watcher of my channel, I go live in bull markets. That's when I start going live. This is a bull market indicator. That's what I call it, a bull market indicator. So let's see. I want to give a shout out. I think I have a COTI chart. I just saw COTI in the chats. COTI chart's looking so good. Are you kidding me? Do you know what COTI's working on? Dude, I love Shahaf over there at COTI. I've been working with Shahaf for years on the recruiting side, helping in any way that I can. And dude, what they're working on from a privacy perspective, garbled circuits, the narrative even that they have right now is so good. And I'm telling you, their team is just awesome. I just love the team. So I realize why they build such a good community is because the culture of people that they have in general is just awesome. And so COTI charts, they're just looking outstanding without doing any too deep of technical analysis. The COTI project is so good. Bullish on COTI. Says Bachelor Society. I'm bullish on the COTI team. Most projects unlocks aren't until after this bull run. Besides, exactly, and that's the other thing you have to look at when you're thinking about these things. When are they unlocking their tokens? What does that look like? What's the schedule look like for advisors and investors and all that good stuff? So that's it, everybody. These are some of the things I'm watching. I think probably for a short term, biggest thing to watch, really, especially on these two cryptos, Bitcoin at the 200-day moving average. How do we close in the next few hours? And then on the ADA weekly chart, what kind of resistance what kind of resistance is posed to ADA right here at the 39-cent level? ADA just tested it. It'd be very interesting to see what happens over the next 5 days or so. So really fun, I would say, everybody, in terms of where we are in the crypto cycles. Again, I think we're just getting started. Total crypto market cap chart. I have my targets. That's what I'm watching. I want to say it again, echo it again. I have no idea if it's going to happen. I'm here for it though, and only time will tell. If you're here right now, everybody in the chats, please hit the like button if you enjoyed any piece of this content, any piece of the content. And if you're not a subscriber, smash the subscribe. I do my best to kind of just give just overall crypto news, crypto analysis, Bitcoin price analysis, and I'm going to just continue to do my best to bring these updates to you. So subscribe, turn notifications on. Your support means a lot as I do these live streams and do these videos. So let's see what happens next, everybody. We'll see. Nobody knows, but I have a feeling. I think we're onto something very fun. I'll see you all in the next video. God bless.